Hi, my name is Toby. And if I'm telling you my story today, it's not so you'll feel sorry for me, but because sometimes, when everything falls apart, that's when you learn how to rebuild it all. Yes, my parents sold me for just $20, but what they didn't know is that this money would become, for me, the start of a completely different life. I was 7 years old. We lived in a makeshift shack with no running water or electricity. My father drank a lot. My mother barely spoke at all. I still remember that morning. My father woke me up very early. He put an old t-shirt on me and said, "Come on, we're going out." We walked for a long time. I was cold, I was hungry. Then we stopped in front of a man, a stranger. He looked at me and asked, "Is it him?" My father nodded. The man pulled out a bill, $20. I saw my father take the money without even looking at me, and I left with that stranger without a goodbye. That day, it felt like I was dying inside. I kept asking myself, why me? Wasn't I good enough? This man's name was Mark. He took me to a neighborhood even poorer than mine. His house was barely standing. There were other kids there, all bought like me. Our job? Cleaning, begging, sometimes stealing. At night, we slept on the bare floor. We were hungry, we were scared, and we kept wondering, will tomorrow be worse than today? Sometimes I cried at night. I thought about my mother. Did she still think about me? But I never saw her again. One evening, Mark sent me to steal a wallet. I did it, but when I opened it, there was a note inside. It was a simple sentence, written on the back of a photo. Never give up. Even if you fall 1,000 times, get up 1,001. I don't know why, but those words echoed inside me. It was the first time I thought, maybe my life could be different. At night, I would sneak near the trash cans of a small cafe. I picked up newspapers, old books people had thrown away. I started teaching myself how to read. I copied the words, repeated them over and over. Every letter I managed to read felt like a small piece of freedom. One day, I found an old financial magazine. It talked about the stock market, about investing. I didn't understand much, but one word stuck in my mind: invest. When I was 14, I was still under Mark's control. But sometimes, I managed to earn a few coins. I saved them, coin by coin, till I had $50. With that money, I started small. I bought empty cans and sold them for recycling. Then, with the profit, I bought old sneakers, cleaned them up, and sold them, little by little. I understood. It's not what you have that matters. It's what you do with it. At 16, I finally managed to escape. I had nothing except a bag and a few bills. I slept in train stations. I was hungry. But I kept selling, kept saving. I started working for a small second-hand phone seller. I was motivated. I learned quickly. The owner let me handle part of the sales, and within a few months, I had tripled the turnover. With my savings, I opened my first second-hand phone stand. I was 18 years old. It was hard. Sometimes I cried at night, but I kept telling myself, never give up. In 2 years, my little stand became a store. Then 2. Then 3. At 21, I reinvested everything. I studied finance marketing. I opened a small company that refurbished phones and computers. In just a few years, I went from beggar to millionaire. All this with no diploma, no family, no help. One day, my parents came back, poor, sick, and broken. They asked me for forgiveness. I helped them, but I never really saw them as my parents again. I realized that you can't always forget, but you can keep moving forward. If I survived, it's because I refused to believe my life had to end the way it started. No matter who you are, where you come from, what matters is what you do now. They sold me for $20, but today, I built a company worth millions. So you too, get up again and again and write your own story.